speaking to Kuseni Dlamini, the CEO of Old Mutual South Africa. Kuseni, if you look at Old Mutual South Africa, 5 years from now, what do you want to see this group looking like?
I would like to see Old Mutual South Africa being the most admired company in South Africa, in Asia, and in Latin America, and elsewhere in the world where we operate. I would like to see ourselves having an appealing brand proposition. We've just launched our new brand campaign, and we're very pleased with the feedback that we are getting, and we are making some good progress in terms of reaching out and mainstreaming our brand and winning hearts and minds. I would like us, thirdly, to be a company that is at the very top in terms of service excellence, establishing an enduring emotional connection with our customers, not because we are the biggest and the oldest in the game, but because we are the best, because we really, really care about our customers. We walk the talk in terms of talking about being customer-centric. It's not just a PowerPoint slide thing, but we do the things that the customers want. We can anticipate customers' aspirations. We can be able to deal with all their concerns. And most importantly, Bronwyn, I would like us to be an employer of choice. I would like us to be a magnet for the attraction and retention of the best brains in South Africa.
What does it take to be employer of choice, in your opinion?
It takes companies that establish themselves as leaders in their fields. It takes companies that have got a compelling and clear vision of what they are about and what they want to achieve. It also takes companies that have got a clear set of compelling values. Today's professionals do not just look for a salary in a company. They look at your entire moral code, your entire ethical code. What do you stand for? What's your interaction with society? And what's your proposition to customers? What are the things that you are doing for the greater good of society?
Vision-led, values-driven. It's Tom Boardman.
Indeed.
Tom Boardman 101 in terms of Nedbank.
Tom Boardman 101.
Coming back
very important indeed. Yes.
Coming back to the competitive environment in South Africa now, the merger between Momentum and Metropolitan certainly is going to see the financial services arena getting that much more hotly contended or contested for clients. Your opinion on that front? Are they going to be a very serious contender to the likes of Old Mutual?
We are watching that with keen interest. We will certainly be ready to face them on, bring them on. We like competition. We've been in the game for many years, and we are constantly refining our value proposition to customers. I think any industry can benefit from competition, and it really keeps us on our feet, on our toes. And we certainly are watching what Momentum and Metropolitan are doing with keen interest. Remind
me of how Nedbank fits into the Old Mutual stable, the unlocking of value between the two entities for Old Mutual South Africa.
We have ongoing discussions with our colleagues in Nedbank, looking at opportunities for us to pursue and unlock synergies where it makes business sense, and we will continue to have those conversations going forward. And we are very happy with the relationship that we have with Mike Brown and the team at Nedbank.
It's not one where you're looking to potentially unbundle. And of course, this is the proverbial question. I have to ask you, looking at unbundling Nedbank down the line.
I think Julian Roberts answered that question. He was asked when we're releasing our results on the 11th of March, and I have got nothing more to say beyond what he said.
And the market's going to continue asking you until something ultimately does happen.
That's the job of the market to ask those questions,
side.
And it's our job to make sure that we focus on unlocking shareholder value, focus on running our businesses as efficiently as we can, positioning them for an increasingly competitive and challenging market.
Kuseni, the international environment, we can't ignore what's happening with Goldman Sachs and the Securities Exchange Commission. How do you see this one unfolding, given the fact that bankers are now seen as the black sheep of society?
I was in Davos early this year, and it sort of gave one a feeling that you do not wish to be a CEO of a bank, because the regulators, indeed, at least some of them, went to town in terms of bank bashing, as it were. I think we're not out of the woods yet in terms of the fallout from the global economic crisis. What we're seeing coming out of Washington is really one of the symptoms that are bound to be part and parcel of the bigger context that we are looking at. I mean, the challenge really is to make sure that the financial services sector in particular and business in general really learns from the crisis that we've just gone through and look at efficacious ways of good corporate governance, risk management, systems of accountability.
Is there the danger, though, of overregulation once we've come through this fury?
I think there is a need for a fine balance. The talk now is about balancing everything, rebalancing this, balancing that. When it comes to the conversation around global regulation and the architect of global financial governance, I think there is a need as well for a fine balance to really make sure that we do not undermine the productive forces that have created so much wealth for generations. But at the same time, that we've got proactive mechanisms to prevent some of the excesses that we have seen happening in some parts of the world. I'm not saying business is scot-free in this regard. And there are some mistakes that have been committed, and we have to learn from those mistakes. And I think regulators as well have got to enter into a much more sober and reasoned conversation with those people that are actively involved in the industry.
One can understand why ordinary citizens are so angry with the bankers. The global economy almost implodes, and every single sector of the global economy is hard hit. But Wall Street, let's talk about the US, survives, and bankers still taking those heady profits. And that certainly is something for, as I said, the ordinary citizen to get upset about. What's your personal opinion on that?
There is a need for a new social contract between business and society. There is obviously a trust deficit that is there. We need to ask ourselves, how has it come about and how can we redress it? How can we make sure that we pursue profit, not at the expense of the broader public good? Pravin Gordhan has spoken about the need to pursue profit and social justice in tandem. I think there is a compelling case to be made for that, and I think business has got to be part of that conversation. We see all the surveys that are being done globally showing that there is an increasing credibility deficit in some parts of the world when it comes to business in general and financial services, and basically banking CEOs in particular. So I think to me it's not so much to look at the minute detail, but to look at the broader strategic challenges and opportunities that this context, that this climate offers us.